Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What a time. What a time. What a time it has been. What a time it has been. Ugh, I feel like I'm dirty. Well, you know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Hubie Halloween. I don't even know if anybody's in chat. Does anybody even know I exist? Do I exist? Is anything real? Am I? Why isn't chat showing up? Or is nobody in chat? It says 50 people are here, but I got nobody in chat. Please don't be a YouTube screw up. Please. Is nobody in chat? How does this make sense? Huh. I'm so confused. Am I even live? Yeah. 52 watching. 628 update. Location scout creatures. It says live. So then why is there no chat? Okay, I don't know why my chat's not loading. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring up chat in another window. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's so weird. So chat's not showing up on my window. This is just another thing that nobody will believe me about YouTube being fucked up. What's up, Greg, Amanda? Where have I been? Well, I'll tell you where I've been. Hubie Halloween, Hubie Halloween, Hubie Halloween, Hubie Halloween, Hubie Halloween. No, Gio, we actually all abandoned the project. Please don't say that. Yeah, so chat's not showing up on my actual live stream window. So I have to go to, yeah, I've got to open up a window and go to my channel like I'm watching it in order to see the chat. So weird. Gotta love YouTube. And then it's weird because then now I'm watching myself from like 18 seconds ago. You know what I mean? Okay. So first I'll start with an explanation in regards to where I've been. Let's see how many people are here. I was just going to wait till like 100 people. I think this is still too bright. Sorry for burping. Ooh, that changes the temperature. That's not the brightness. I need to change the brightness, baby. Okay. We got Gremmy Boy on deck. Gremmy Boy has been eating down there next to me, next to my desk. I swear I'm this close to being able to pet him, but he still does not want me to touch him. But if you could see where he eats now, I've been moving his bowl incrementally from his crate toward my desk. And so now he's been staying kind of by the couch. He's in his crate right now, but he doesn't need to be. And he'll eat like right next to me. But still, when I try to feed him from a spoon or when I try to feed him out of my hand, he does not. He can't yike it. My niece used to say, I can't yike it when she was a baby. And so that's what I say. He can't yike it. I turned the fans off. I've had fans on, but I turned them off for the live stream. Now it's hot. But okay. 100 or so people are in chat or watching. So let me just talk about where I've been. So I went on a trip to visit family in Maryland. Then from Maryland, go to Massachusetts, family in Massachusetts, location scout in Massachusetts, and then family in New Hampshire, and then birthday in Boston, and then back home. So we have been all over the place in a week and a half, and it's been a whirlwind. what I should have done is I should have printed out the location deck. Well, I'll just bring it up and I'll show you on the camera. Okay, so the point of this scout was to walk around the location with the script and go scene by scene by scene. And I thought this would be interesting to talk about because I remember I once location scouted for a project that I was co-directing with a buddy. And we were looking for a restaurant. And granted, we had a restaurant and then we lost the restaurant and we had to shoot in 2 days. And we found a restaurant that said, we'll let you shoot here in 2 days. So I went into that location scout thinking, how does this restaurant work for us? And my friend, the co-director, looked around and said, you know, this just isn't the restaurant in my head. Now, okay, there are times when you've got to find the thing in your head. But then there are times where you have to learn to look at the bones of a scene, okay? Perfect example. I'm going to walk you through looking at a specific room at this mansion location. First of all, I would actually say the location that we scouted in Massachusetts was the location in my head. I mean, there were rooms where I was like, this is exactly it. This is exactly what we need. The exterior is like exactly what I want. Gothic, scary, but still angular, kind of regal, not decrepit haunted mansion, but like evil Satanist's compound. So anyway, you've got to look at a location, understanding what are the needs for each scene. And then know that you can rewrite to fit the location if need be. So here's an example, okay? If any of you were there for the live read, you know that in Bartok's study, Onyx pulls the tooth on a demon skull, and the way it's scripted is the painting opens up. This big painting that has Bartok's portrait opens up, and you can step inside the wall, and Onyx says, oh, secret passageways. Are you kidding me? Think about that practically. What would that require of a location? You'd have to build a false wall. And then, I mean, honestly, even that wouldn't work. Your wall would have to be built somewhere else that would actually have space behind it. So that would have to be like a false wall on a stage or in another room that's empty, right? Then you'd have to match that into your practical room of Bartok's study. Now, I'm looking at this library at this location. There's no clear, there's like, well, I could build a false wall right there and he could step through that. That could cost a lot of money. But in the foyer, oh my gosh, it's so hot in this garage. Holy shit. But in the foyer, there's an actual curved door in a curved wall that if you were to take the doorknob off, it would almost just blend into the wall. It looks like a hidden door. So as a filmmaker, you got to go, okay, I'm not looking to gift horse in the mouth. Instead of me trying to think about how I can put a false wall inside Bartok's study or build on top of a doorway and then have the painting there and Onyx steps through it, etc. What if I shoot that foyer door as if it's in Bartok's study, and I either just sell it through connecting coverage. So for instance, the demon skull is up on the wall. Onyx pulls the fang. We hear the Onyx looks like this. Now in reality, the door isn't behind him. That's out in the foyer. But you get a little over the shoulder, you place Onyx out in the foyer, and now you're looking at that door. And as far as we're concerned, it's in Bartok's study. You could even go so far as, oh, I wish I could put these images in chat. I wonder if I could. Huh. You could even go so far as to shoot Onyx walking into the secret door, shoot a wall in Bartok's study, and then composite them together in post. So then it really does match the environment. Anyway, all that to say, that's the kind of stuff you're thinking through as you're location scouting. instead of looking around a room and going, it's just not the room that's in my head. And it actually, I find, it solves a lot of other problems and it cleans up a lot of stuff. So in the script, a problem I always had with it was that you pull one fang, that door opens. You pull another fang, a trap door opens below Onyx. And that's when Mac sends Onyx out into the cemetery at the end of the film and they say, you've got everything you need. I was always like, that's going to be hard to explain. How does Mac know about the trap door? Well, they saw Bartok and Farah leaving through some weird exit at some point because Mac's out smoking earlier and they see Farah and Mac running away. Farah and Bartok running away. But the point is, how am I doing that trap door? Is that a build and a VFX shot where you shoot that trap door on a stage or in an empty room and then you composite it into the, so this is what I decided upon. The one fang is the only trigger. The only door that's ever opened is that secret door. The difference in regards to where you wind up is found within the walls. You go within the walls, you take a left turn at the old mannequin, you wind up in the cemetery. You take a right turn at the old mannequin, you wind up in Mr. Duke's room. You go straight and you wind up in the kitchen. Do you know what I'm saying? And you enter through that curved door, but you could exit in the cemetery or exit through a dumbwaiter or exit into the dresser, the wardrobe in Mr. Duke's bedroom, which DP feels a little more like Clue. I think the painting wall is like very specifically from Clue. But the idea that once you're behind the walls, there's many different paths. And depending on where you wind up turning is where you exit. But then that brings in a slight rewrite, which is Mac needs to have kind of mapped that. Because at the end of the film, Mac has to be able to say to Onyx, you have everything you need. Go. Take a left turn at the mannequin. You know what I mean? Like if they were to say that, and then Onyx is in that, and then he takes a left turn at the mannequin and then ends up in the cemetery. The left turn at Albuquerque, exactly. That's one rewrite that came out of the location sketch. You need to build in this whole, like, where you go inside of the walls determines where you land when you re-enter, which I think is a lot more fun. I'm not just trying to justify me having to change things. I think that actually is a lot more fun. And it's just a lot more concise. There's one door. There's one fang trigger. Anyway. The other thing is just, you have to imagine, I apologize if any of this is like obvious, but so there's a room in this mansion called the billiard room. There's a room in my script called the billiard room, right? Now, there's a pool table in my script. There's not currently a pool table at the location. But you look at a billiard room and you tell yourself, so this would be the billiard room. Well, maybe not. Maybe the billiard room should be the dining room because of the shape of it or because of how nondescript it is. Whereas the mansion's dining room may actually look better as the ritual room. So the whole day was just taking picture after picture, making my wife stand in as different characters, and then making a 47-page deck to send out to my DP. Let me show you. I'm going to show you a little bit of this deck. Okay, Onyx location deck. Okay, let's scan through some of this. I don't think there's any like sensitive material in here. It's something I sent. Okay, so I'm not looking at chat right now because I can only see my location deck. So forgive me, but I should at least see. Well, I should at least make sure that I'm checking to make sure y'all can see. I'm just hoping y'all can see. Yeah, I can get a little closer, I guess. Does that work? Can you see it? Oh my gosh. Whatever. Okay. So the exterior. This is where I see Farah welcoming everybody at the beginning of the movie. Farah coming down the stairs. The guests entering. Obviously, they'd be lit. The guests entering. Now, I think it's cooler if this is when the guests first arrive. That looks cooler than the actual front of the building. So that is the back of the building. So this is the other thing. I hope you guys can see. Can everybody see okay? Okay. Can you fake like the back is the front, basically, is a question. This is the back door. This place is a museum currently. So there's railings, there's ramps. So for handicap accessibility, I'm wondering, can we take out these railings just because Bartok's mansion wouldn't really be built to be accessible for the public, right? But this door is more interesting than the actual front door. So this is the dining room. This actually looks more like the ritual room. My DP said that. I was like, here's the dining room. It's a dining room. And he was like, I think the dining room should be the ritual room. And I think he's right. This is more ornate. There's a lot of this great wood paneling. This looks like the ritual room. Yeah, for sure. Now, this is the billiard room. He's saying this should be the dining room. Yeah, no doubt. Although that's a good spot for Bartok to be standing when he's first introduced. That's where all the guests would be standing when they're first talking to Bartok, and Bartok's like, look at you, you piece of shit, all that stuff. So this is the library. This would be Bartok's study. That mirror would be where the mural is that's Bartok, that Onyx then looks through. So the idea, this is what I was trying to explain. Either you build a false wall that covers this wall, and that is actually the secret entrance to go back to the mural, or that just remains a mirror, and this is just a false wall that has a mural that he steps behind. That's fine. But, okay, that's where his main desk would be. This is where the giant demon skull would be hanging. Here's some of the other films that have shot there. The Man Who Killed Hitler, and then The Bigfoot, and Cider House Rules. But look, this is the secret door in the wall in the foyer. So my thing is, could you shoot that? This is what it looks like, right? I'm hoping everybody can see this. I can't keep track of chat at the same time. Shoot this, but then composite it into Bartok's study, right? You see what I'm saying? So Onyx goes in here and then steps up behind the mural that would be there where the mirror is. And that just seems to make sense to me. This obviously doesn't quite work. This needs to be either you digitally continue this wood paneling, or you make this beam just more certain, right here, to where it feels like a decisive design choice that half of the room has that thicker wood paneling. But you know what I'm saying? And then there's plenty of places at this mansion that could double as the behind the walls stuff. And you just have a stack of, cinder blocks that Onyx steps up onto, and then he's looking through. So you replace that mirror with the big portrait of Bartok. Does that make sense? Very complex ceiling, I know. Hopefully you could see all that. I was kind of not able to look at chat while I was also doing all of that. But I'm going to scroll back and just see if there's any other. So can you shoot in the same room from different angles with different set dressing to represent different rooms? Yeah, you can, but that's very limiting. You'd kind of, what we've talked about is there's a room that's perfect for the Meatloaf fantasy sequence. And I think you could redress that room to also be where they're all playing pool. Because in the Meatloaf fantasy sequence, Dream Logic would have kind of redressed a room. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, the room they were playing billiards in would become the room where he's playing piano like a vampire. So I think you'd redress rooms to use for multiple purposes, but I don't think they would always be within the same reality, if that makes sense. I feel like that gets really limiting. So where will we shoot the secret interiors? Bobby, a set. I think there will be minor construction, but I don't think we have the budget to build sets. I think we're going to build a little altar that Bartok kills himself on in the beginning, and then it's like a psych out, I think there'll be small builds like that, but not full sets. Okay, Nate, good question. Where will we shoot the secret interiors? Let me scroll to that stuff. There's a lot of spaces that would be secret interiors. Because there's a whole basement at this place that's kind of unfinished, and then there's multiple rooms that are kind of unfinished. Okay, so like interior of the wall, you know, and oh, and now my text are on screen too. So he could be running through here. This looks like he's behind places. Running through here looks like he's behind the wall, and we can like have things stacked, mannequins and furniture, a boiler. I mean, come on, this stuff. Okay, now we're into cemetery stuff. Hold on, I don't want to do that yet because I'm not really ready. This stuff. I mean, yeah, all of this is good for him running around, for him like in the exteriors. Anyway, man, I'm sweating bullets being down here with the freaking fans off. Yeesh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, totally inner wall looking stuff. What are the chances of this spot not working out and needing to find a different location? I would say the chances are low. I left this location completely sold on it. So all we're waiting on now is to get the proper location agreement in place. My production lawyer is drafting that. We're going to send it to the location. I'm going to show them some of these photos because there were some places that were technically like off limits for production, but they said it could be a discussion. So I need to show them some of these off limits places and say, could we please shoot in this space? And, if they're comfortable with the location agreement, I think we should be good to go. I can't imagine looking for a different spot. I mean, this place was perfect to me. And everybody that worked there was just wonderful, accommodating. I got some iced coffee because it's so freaking hot. Maybe I will turn this fan on. Oh. All signs just point to yes. I mean, also the fact that 15 minutes away is a cemetery that was also incredibly accommodating. I took a million pictures at the cemetery. Video. Every time I rolled video, I sung the Tales from the Crypt theme. And it just felt perfect. One of the rooms, I know I took a picture of it, but I don't think it wound up in the deck. One of the rooms that was kind of off the beaten path, just straight up had a mannequin head like sitting on a trunk. So you opened this door and it was kind of like, do not enter. You open this door and it was just like, so that kind of stuff was like, oh, Onyx fucking runs around the corner. And then it's just like, oh, and when she says take a left at the mannequin head. Also, there's so many spaces, like I was saying, for him to pop out of. I think it could be really funny if when he first gets lost inside of the wall, he's turned around and he goes this way and he comes out of a dumbwaiter, and then he goes this way and he comes out of into a bathroom, and then he goes back in and he comes out of, and you just do like this rapid fire, almost like Benny Hill style gag of him popping out of different spaces. I even thought it could be funny if at one point when he pops out of one of those doors, there's just like, okay, this is the bad pitch, so not this. But can you imagine if he like opened a door and like Elvira was just sitting there and she was like, yes. And he was like, sorry, closes the door. We wouldn't do that. That joke doesn't fit in this movie. But my point is, being at the location gave me a lot of ideas. So one is rewrite the trapdoor stuff. Try to make it make sense that Mac could have at some point kind of mapped the inner walls and figure out which room is the billiard room and I mean, there's not really many rewrites as far as the mansion goes. But this is so funny. I scout this cemetery location, and I'll show you. Okay, let me show you a couple of the cemetery videos. Let me just find out where I put them. Hold on. I'll play it with my audio so you can hear me singing Tales from the Crypt. Calm down. Everybody control me. Oh, they're all on my desktop. So what am I talking about? Okay. All right, hold on. Sure, I guess I'll just do this. Hold on. So I'm running around this cemetery, and it's huge. It's bigger than the cemetery should be as far as our film. Our film, it should feel like the cemetery exists behind the mansion. It shouldn't be that expansive, but it's beautiful. And the idea is that you just find a spot and say that's your cemetery. You don't show the whole thing, right? But I'm running around and I'm like, right, he opens into the ladies' restroom and everyone screams. Yeah. Interior and exterior, all at this location. That's what I'm saying. You slam it and you jam it. That's the dream. I mean, it's very often done that your exterior is not your interior, but holy hell, man, does that save time and travel for everything to be there. Sneaking away for a cigarette and chilling behind the walls, exploring in solitude seems like something Mac would be all over. Hunter, you're very correct. I even wrote a line while I was in the mansion where they said, I wrote, Mac says, I find secret spots. That's what I do. Something like that. Of course, that's what they do. They don't trust anyone, and they're very much happy to be alone. I think it's as simple as when Onyx comes through the wardrobe into Mr. Duke's room, and they're like, whoa, Onyx, are you okay? And he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Is that how this little lamp works? Huh, a little button like that, on and off. Awesome. And doesn't want to tell them about what he saw happen to Angelique Jessminder. I think it's as simple as while he's going on and on about it, Mac looks down into the wardrobe and sees, corridor this way, corridor that way. That's kind of enough for us to imagine they're going to be curious enough to look into that. And so if at the end of the film, Mac has a little map for Onyx that says, take a left at the mannequin head, I believe that just from that one look left and right, knowing their level of curiosity and distrust for Bartok and Farah, they might have built a little map for Onyx. It would happen off camera. I don't think we have time to show Mac in the corridors sketching out a map, but I don't even think you'd want to show that. You'd want that to be a little surprise. Marty, the crew is back. I know not everybody likes Vincent Gallo. He's a problematic figure, and rightfully so. He's done some fucked up stuff, but quoting Buffalo 66, it's really hard for me not to do. And you remember when he goes back to his bowling alley and he's like, the king is back. The king is back. Anyway, it made me think of that when I said the crew is back. So, okay, wait a minute. Oh, cemetery. All right, this is what's so funny. So I'm running around the cemetery and I literally say to myself, give me a sign. I need something to tell me where this should happen, because it's just such a big cemetery. There's beautiful gravestones everywhere, but what will make it feel like this is the ordained spot for a finale? And then in the middle of the cemetery, I come across this hilltop, and look at this little spot. So that's not, that doesn't show you everything, but hold on. Imagine if I were pitching this to like a studio, and this was part of my pitch, was me being like, hold on, let me just bring up another video of me singing Tales from the Crypt. Okay, check this one out. So think about the fact that is not set dressing. That's fucking there, dude. Like, I know that's little, and the amount of time it would take someone in the art department to toss a fake gravestone onto the ground is nominal. But the fact that that's there, those are the kind of signs I'm talking about you look for when you're location scouting. I mean, can you imagine drifting up from that stone? And then look at this guy. I wanted there to be a massive gravestone that would kind of be an anchor for all the action, because otherwise you're just on a hill. What are you looking at? Some branches? So the fact that at the center of this hilltop is that big bad boy. Now, think about that. Look at the poster. It's Onyx and Farah fighting on a giant gravestone with a pit opening up in front of it. Now, I didn't come up with that idea. Lucas did, the poster artist. He placed the pit in front of a giant gravestone, and then I write that into the script. And then I find this, like, that's fucking tight. So there's this great giant gravestone. Granted, it's not an angel. It's an obelisk of some kind. Doesn't matter. It gives me something to kind of anchor the action around, and all these little guys rimming the cemetery. Jesus. I'm going to get flack for that. It's perfect. What a great angle. Look at that angle. So let me show you one more video. And the roots, exactly. The roots. So once we're done rimming the cemetery, okay, is this the other video? Let me see. Here's another one. So I just feel like this hilltop is it. I feel like that's it. I feel like that is it. Let me show you, if anybody remembers Onyx. I'm trying to find, oh, okay, yeah. So if you remember, Onyx, is sitting in the cemetery, and that's the angle, I imagine. Now, this is broad daylight. Looks great, right? Ooh, look at that moss covered. You can't fucking, oh, I mean, that's the real deal. That stony moss. Oh, but what really makes this, obviously, is the depth. Think about how small our budget is. Think about getting light on all of this. You know what I mean? So is that even possible? Who knows? Obviously, I sent this deck to my DP, but beautiful shot, right? Only if this stuff plays. Otherwise, you could be on a fucking soundstage with a strip of AstroTurf and a single tombstone. So you also got to think about, when you're location scouting, what will actually be seen. Well, we can walk through these. There's a great row. Look at this bad boy. Look at that row of, legit old stands. Okay, so anyway, that's the hilltop from another side. You get this gnarled tree. Forget about it. Okay. So, and all those stones rimming that cemetery, how can you go wrong? Someone save all of my director moans and create a playlist. It's true. But by the end of the location scout, I was shoeless, running around the grave yard because we're running out of time. And then I had the pressure of my family being like, hey, are you coming back for dinner? Or are you doing this location scout all day? And I was like, I got a location scout, but I also can't disappoint my family. So I'm running through the cemetery barefoot, taking video and photo of like every corner, because I'm like, I might not be back in Massachusetts until we're filming. So yeah, I maybe put too much pressure on myself. I felt like I needed to get a photograph of every single gravestone in all of the cemeteries. We went to 3 cemeteries, but the main one was the one that slapped. That was the one that slapped. So what else was I going to talk about? In summation, as far as location scouting went, like, couldn't have been better. Came back with a million ideas. Almost every single room worked. Yeah, it just exterior, interior. Oh, there's this great like half wall outside of the mansion that you can you could play like on the other side of that half wall is the cemetery. So you could show Bartok and Farah going through that half wall fence, and then we could cut to them entering that cemetery that's actually 15 minutes down the road. Oof. Creature stuff. And casting. Yes. Marty, I haven't done any rewrites yet. On the plane back home, I audition tapes and worked on that location deck. I have a casting director right now that says a performer that we want to out to play Shelley is considering the project, and we should have a response soon. Let me respond to them. Okay. Update on casting. I believe I know who's playing Farah. I know who's playing Onyx. I know who's playing Mac. I know who's playing Angelique. We have an offer out for a Shelley. We have an offer out for a Bartok. And we're looking at Mr. Dukes this week. Now, the offer that's out for Bartok. Oh, is OTD in the chat? OTD, why don't you drop a Hubie Halloween for us? Yo! I can't say who the offer is for Bartok, but I will say just before starting this stream, OTD and I were talking about how perfect we think this person is for Bartok. And I don't know that it's anyone that we've even discussed on the streams before. Hubie Halloween, baby. So I'm anxious. I would really like good news in regards to this Shelley offer and this Bartok offer. It's a lot. It's a lot to ask performers to go to Massachusetts for any length of time for a very low budget. It's a lot. So, we've got plans if some of these people say no, and they're still wonderful, absolute wonderful choices. But yes, one of the offers that's out right now is to a performer who I think would make for an unexpected Bartok, but at the same time, a very meaningful Bartok. So I might have an update on that soon. It would probably be a while before I could, even if this person says yes or negotiates and we eventually get a yes, it'd probably be a while before I could say anything about it on stream. I don't know if I should finish this iced coffee or not. That means I'd be having iced coffee at 5 p.m., which is usually a recipe for disaster. Oh. Todd is in. Beatrix is not in the script, and only because I think the film had to be about Onyx not having friends. And I feel like Beatrix existed in the Shadow Zone world, and that didn't make sense to port over to the Talisman of Souls world. Todd made sense to port over because I feel like in any reality, there's a Todd in Onyx's life. In this film, Onyx finds his friends. He must begin MOF, mit friends. So, unfortunately, Beatrix, even though I love Mary Neely to the sun and back, it didn't make sense to have him already have a friend. Yeah. And then it didn't make sense for Beatrix to be the Mac character because I think Beatrix is platonic. I think Mac is a love interest for Onyx, but I think Beatrix and Onyx are brother and sister. But that's a good idea. Have Beatrix in the sequel. I also thought it'd be really funny if when Onyx is going through all the doors, one of the doors he opens, there's like some glowing obelisk that we don't even explain. But in the sequel, the plot is that these demons are coming for that glowing obelisk because it's actually like Satan's soul or something. A la Prince of Darkness. Okay. Creature stuff. I don't think Adam would mind me showing some of this stuff. I mean, I'm so stoked on some of this stuff. Hold on. This seems like a small deal, but oh, Roger, I did think Beatrix, at least Mary, could be Vera, the coworker at the meat hut. And that would be a fun cameo, but I almost don't feel like asking an actor to come to Massachusetts for a cameo like that, unless we shoot the meat hut in LA. If we shoot the meat hut in LA, I would love to have Mary. Oh, but the truth is, Mary's in New York now. Maybe it wouldn't be that crazy to get her to Western Mass, you know? This seems like a small prop, but this is a big deal to me. This is the demon's skull being built that's going to be hanging on the wall that Onyx eventually, you know, he triggers to open the secret door. And look at, this is my favorite thing. The little trigger. Hold on. Will it play again? God damn it. Fuck my fuck. Can I even fucking play this at the right time? Look. Ooh. So the fang will sit on top of that, you know? This is what's so cool. You don't even have to say to Adam that it should spring back slowly. He just knows. In a haunted house movie, if you pull the fucking trigger on something, it would be like, and then it would spring back slowly. Fucking love it. And then there's some other designs that I'm like, I'm like, I want to show, but I'm also like, should I save it for a bigger reveal? Okay. I'm going to show these. The other thing he's making progress on is the box demon, the demon that tells Onyx, you know, the secret of his backstory, which is that his father left because Onyx wasn't enough, which we know is a lie. Well, you could interpret it many ways. I would say that anything coming from the demons and Bartok is a lie. It's all meant to put Onyx in a place of feeling like he's not the fortuitous one. So everything they say supports that narrative. That's why over and over again, Bartok says you're a ghost. That's also because that foreshadows Bartok's own comeuppance. At the end of the film, he's literally a ghost. He also threatens to take Farah's head off, and he's decapitated. So I guess I hesitate to show everybody this just because it's like, I don't know. What if y'all are like, oh, that's the direction you went with for the box demon? But I love it. I'm going to tell you right now, he has a beak. I think some of you saw that on the live stream last time. Check out, does that work? He's getting sculpted. Okay. He's getting sculpted. Can you see? Yeah. Some action. Hopefully you could see that. Has Onyx's dad been cast yet? No. No. Labyrinth vibes, if for sure. We got a little Salacious Crumb vibe with the beak. We got a lot of the Fireys from Labyrinth with the beak. Yeah, it's dark Labyrinth vibes, if for sure. A little Skeksis flow, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah. So, gosh, I wish I had casting update because I want to know. Altered Beasts, that's funny. Yeah, for sure. Somebody said Rhode Island is better than Mass. But why? Like, specifically? I mean, if Rhode Island has a location as good as that location, But man, that location is perfect. Plus, you know, to be honest, I have ties to Massachusetts. Like, I got family from there. My dad grew up in Dorchester. I know that's far away from Western Mass, but I know it's not about that, but I don't know, it kind of is about that, right? If this movie's about kind of getting to Onyx's roots and it's about family, and you know, Massachusetts means something to me. I also got engaged in Massachusetts. I don't know. I got fucking, there's juice there. There's blood there. Okay. Creatures, demon, box demon. Oh, Nate, can I show them Beefy Bad Boy? I'd like to, if you're cool with that, but I'll wait for the okay. So Nate, you know, who I've talked about before on these streams and over the course of the Kickstarter. Okay, cool. Thank you. Who designed many things over the course of the campaign. The sign that used to hang right behind me, which is now hanging on my door. There's one of the best, my favorite things that came out of the art from the campaign was the chicken nugget toy as Onyx. Onyx as the chicken nugget toy. Okay, so I reached out to Nate. So a couple things. There's a couple of different artists that are currently doing stuff. Tony, who, if people remember, was basically the one creating any of the graphic assets that said, we got to kill the fucking succubus this week. We got to get to 275 to defeat the ghouls. So Tony is working on, and I guess I hope you're fine with me saying this, if you're still in chat, Tony. He's working on Bartok illustrated elements, record covers, book covers, posters. Nate is working on Battle Cats and Beefy Bad Boy. And let me show you some of this. Let me go to our text, Nate. Okay. So now, so this is the Beefy Bad Boy as he appears on merchandising at the Meat Hut. So this is not his nightmare version. This is him on a coupon, him on a menu, him on, you know, their fucking insignia on their shirt. So let me see if you can see this cutie. Can you see him? Will he come into focus for all of us? Jesus Christ, bring him into focus. Sweet God, bring him into focus. Oh my gosh. Well, you can see him, right? Come on, focus, dude. I mean, webcams are the same as they've been since 1998. Do you know what I mean? Webcams can't do anything any different than they could in the late 90s. Okay, maybe I'm angry for no reason. So the way this kind of happened is Adam was working on Beefy Bad Boy, and they kind of hit upon this Garbage Pail Kid vibe, which I need no selling on. The second they were like, so this next one's kind of Garbage Pail Kid, I was like, sold. But they felt like they needed an illustrator that could really dial in it feeling like a mascot and like a brand representative. And so then I reached out to Nate because the stuff he does is so like clean and dialed in, and you know, it feels like ready for toy packaging, and I mean that in a good way. It feels like it's got this like iconic shape, like the you know, the Onyx thing. Hold on, let me get it. Like when he sent that, I mean, I was like, call it a day. This is this is exactly Onyx. This feels like no notes. You know what I mean? So, oh my gosh, look at my underwear up above my shorts. That's all right. I'm a dad at heart without being an actual dad. So Nate dialed in the Beefy Bad Boy design, and then that goes back to Adam, Creature Kid, who will base his sculpt on that design. which is super cool. Greg, thank you. Black Christmas was made for 620 grand. You're going to nail this. Hope so. Hope so. Oh, yeah, the poplars from Futurama. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Basically, we need to lock in cast in July because, oh yeah, Elijah, let me update you on that. Yeah, Onyx just wears, that's how he wears his, yeah. I wear my underwear above my shorts. That's how I roll. We need to lock in cast in July because Adam Creature Kid needs to base his ghoul designs off of the actual cast. So we got to lock them in. Location agreement is coming this week, I believe. Cemetery questions I have to send out this week about shooting on that hilltop. They said there'd be no issue shooting at night. Music video, the idea is that at the end of like every setup, we just run through the music video, the song once, so that by the end of the film, hopefully we have enough footage to cut together a music video for the theme song. Whether or not there's any setups that are like just music video, you know what I mean? Like it's going to feel like a music video made on the set as like almost a blooper reel, but that's okay. But my goal is that actually, where is Coheed going to be at the time? Hold on a second. My goal is that we could get Claudio to come down and be in it. But let me see when their used tour is. Okay, let's see. Actually, so I don't know if they have any October dates right now. I might try to put this on his radar ASAP. Can you imagine if we could get Claudio to the set just for one day and just shoot him dressed like Freddy Krueger, rocking out to that song? Jesus Christ. I still have my Think Like You're Winning sign up. I haven't taken that down. I still feel good about it. I feel like it was very necessary. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else to go over. Does anybody have any other questions? There's still a lot of stuff I can't answer yet, but I at least wanted to explain where I was for the last 2 weeks. Jay, I think I have seen that video, The Voids. Yeah, because I love The Voids. Because The Voids is isn't that Julian Casablancas, isn't, you know? Onyx pop figures. Oof. Would love it. Okay, so good question, DP. Are we going to make more merch? Yeah, I mean, my goal would be that like Fright Rags or Cavity Colors would put out some merch for Talisman of Souls. You know, this is like, you know, we're trying to get Onyx to film character. I want to push. I don't want to leave behind Notice Me Senpai, you know, but it's like this is about evolving him into being a filmic character. And so I kind of want to push. I'm going to do some like TikTok merch that just straight up says meow meow, Notice Me Senpai. And I don't know, but like that's it. Oh, the surveys, we're still missing so many, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to start creating the products because we can't wait. Let me show you how many surveys we still are missing. We are still missing. Come on. Reward surveys. Load. Come on. Load. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's not where I go. Backer report. Where do I go? Where do I go? Fulfillment. Okay, so we are still missing 1,100 surveys, but that's okay. We got 85%. We're just gonna groove. We're just gonna start making stuff. Do I feel like I have new Onyx memes in the works? I don't. I feel like I was just having this thought the other day because when I make TikToks, I don't have the juice to come up with like the internet-y side of Onyx anymore. I think I've got the juice for the filmic Onyx. I don't. Yeah, I mean the memes will create themselves to a degree, but you kind of do have to make stuff that's like kind of ready-made for that. Like when I would make the news videos, I have in my head, I made that video of him saying it's about a brother and a sister, and they fuck. I made that for that moment to be memed. That was intentional. That's the thing that you could. My mind, when I worked for an internet company and when I was making internet content, thought more internety. I don't think as internety right now. I did fucking throughout that Kickstarter, man. When I thought of that raccoon video and the TikTok that cut between me and Onyx sitting here, my internet brain was in. My internet cap was on. But now I'm in the like mode of thinking about this thing as a movie, and I'm just not thinking about the internet format. But I do want to try to get to 1 million followers on TikTok this summer. So, I need to keep thinking a little internety. How is this with the fan? Because now I know the fan's not too loud, I guess, right? Is the fan okay? Okay. If I have updates this week, I'll do another update on Friday. I'll do another live stream on Friday. Oh, I gave a Grammy Boy update at the top. He's still here. He's coming out and eating next to me at my desk. His bowl's up there now. And he comes out and he eats with me sitting here so close to me. How buff am I going to get? I'm going to get fucking ripped. They meme the hell out of Psycho Gorman. Yeah. All right, cool. If enough stuff goes down this week, I'll update on Friday. I'll try to do a live stream on Friday, even if there's not much to talk about, even if I just pop in for 20 minutes. That's the update. Creatures casting cation, which stands for location. Thanks for bearing with me. I know I've been off the grid for like 2 weeks, but it's all for good stuff, I promise. And yeah, I'll talk to everybody soon. All right. I got to exit out of this and go to the actual live stream window and end stream. Meow, meow.